Hey guys, in today's video we will see a new story called The Return of the God of Destruction, BIG-MUN. This story will be about a god of destruction that was brought to life, but he didn't belong to any of the current 12 universes. He belonged to one of the 6 universes that had been destroyed by Zeno thousands of years ago. We will see how this god of destruction will behave now, thousands of years after his death, and what will be his goal now that he has returned. Will this god of destruction be a new ally for Goku or a new enemy for Goku and his friends? Well, just follow along to find out. So grab a bucket of popcorn and your soda and come with me, and of course don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and comment what you think of this story. Well, without further ado, let's start following this amazing story. Somewhere outside the 12 universes. In a place where nothing existed, composed only of darkness and nothing else, there was a small purple sphere, with some details like it was cloth or something like that. That small purple sphere wandered through the vast darkness, but it was not just a normal sphere, but the soul of an ancient god of destruction that had been wandering in that place since the day of his death. But even his so-called death could not erase what he felt. The deepest hatred and anger towards the supreme beings who had brought about his death. Only this god of destruction didn't know that what he wanted most would happen. This god of destruction would finally have the chance to take revenge on those who brought his death, and the god of destruction would have to thank a certain emperor who, due to his greed, ended up bringing what could be considered the Ragnarok of the gods of destruction and angels. But they would not be the only ones to feel his fury, because the supreme beings are the true targets of this god of destruction. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, it was possible to see a spaceship wandering through the universe, accompanied by other smaller spaceships around it. The main and largest ship was the feared Emperor Frieza, the being who most hates the Saiyajins in the universe, and who is also a Saiyan, Son Goku's archenemy from planet Earth. Inside Frieza's spaceship, it was possible to see that Frieza was sitting on a kind of throne that could float, and the Emperor was looking at the glass panel of his ship, seeing all the stars and constellations he passed by. Other than that, inside the ship was also Frieza's private advisor, along with other people who were operating the spaceship. Frieza spoke. "Counselor, are we already reaching our destination?" asked the Emperor to his advisor, who, upon hearing the words of his master, looked at one of Frieza's servants who was in charge of piloting the ship, and when he saw that she was looking at him, the servant sent information to the advisor's scouter. The counselor said, "From the information received, my sovereign, we will reach your destination in a short time. But let me ask you one more time, why are we going to a planet that is on the edge of our universe? What is there for you to go see for yourself?" said the advisor to her sovereign. After all, Frieza would not go to some planet if it wasn't important. Frieza said, "Simple, my dear. In the latest research by one of my archaeological servants, they ended up discovering a legend that said that whoever finds a star created by an ancient being called Zalama, who was called the Dragon God, whoever possesses this star will be able to make a wish that could even restore a universe. And moreover, they had discovered all this at the beginning of creation. There were 18 universes and not 12. That means that Zeno ended up destroying these 6 universes because they should be weak. And my current power made me a being with a level of power similar or superior to the gods of destruction. So I will use this star to bring one of their destroyed universes back to life, and then I will kill the god of destruction of that universe. And with that I will make the angel of the universe make me the new one god of destruction. And with that power I will be an extremely powerful being, and I will be able to defeat everyone who stands in my way," said the Emperor about his desire and goal to be a god of destruction, something that made all who heard him awestruck and awed by their sovereign's future power. Counselor said, "If you manage to accomplish this objective, then you will be able to govern an entire universe. With that, what will happen to all your servants, my lord?" said the woman who was putting the question on the table. Everyone paid attention. After all, they could end up dead for not being more useful. Frieza said, "It's not if I succeed. I will succeed in becoming a god of destruction. No need to worry, because after I become a god of destruction, I will need you to rule the entire universe. Because when other tournaments of power happen, I will need elite soldiers capable of humiliating all warriors," spoke the Emperor with a cynical smile on his face. But just hearing those words, the soldiers sighed with happiness, because they would not be discarded, or in worst cases killed by the hands of their sovereign. The counselor said, "We appreciate your mercy, my lord. All of us will be happy to not only serve the current emperor of this universe, but also serve a future god of destruction of the universe. It seems that we have arrived, my lord," said the advisor to Frieza, who paid more attention to the glass panel in front of him. When looking at the glass panel in front of him, Frieza was able to see a small planet with a large volume of a reddish liquid similar to water, but it had a redder tone, almost blood. and the part that was made of land had something that looked like with earth grass, only it was light blue, and beyond that there were small floating islands scattered around the planet. Frieza spoke. Yes, this is the planet I was looking for. Before we land, send some soldiers to search the planet and tell them to look for a floating island with a golden tree, which should emanate a destructive purple color energy with a dark tone, said the Emperor, turning around and looking at his advisor, who soon ordered some soldiers to do what their sovereign had ordered. It didn't take long for Frieza's army to find what their lord wanted, and soon the Emperor's spaceship began to fly over the floating island that should have been big enough to be considered a continent. A ramp ended up opening on Frieza's ship, and when it opened completely, it was possible to see the Emperor already in his floating vehicle. Then Frieza jumped off the ramp and fell on the floating island. And upon reaching the ground of the floating island, the Emperor ended up seeing that on the island there was a type of pyramid, with some statues of some beings that Frieza did not know, but thought that they must be from the civilization that belonged to the planet. Frieza said, "Advisor, create an exploration group and send them inside to explore this pyramid, but they can't touch anything," said the Emperor to his advisor, who soon organized some exploration groups and sent them inside the pyramid. Meanwhile, the Emperor sat at an improvised throne and began to eat some things that his cooks had made for him. A few hours had passed and almost all the exploration groups had already returned. Only one of them was missing. This group was the one that Frieza most expected because he believed that they had found the place where the star was, which would grant the wish that Frieza wanted so much. So another hour had passed, and the last group had returned with information about the location of the star that the Emperor wanted so much. Frieza said, "Congratulations on finding the star's resting place. Now take me there. When we return, I will give you a great fortune, in addition to a prestigious title for the services rendered to me," said the Emperor to the soldiers who had discovered the place where the star was. Frieza said, "Now guide me to the place where that star is," said the Emperor to his soldiers, who soon began to guide him to the place where the star was. Some soldiers had died on the way, as there were several traps in the corridors of the temple. A few minutes later, it was possible to see that Frieza and his exploration group had arrived at the place where the star was, and when they arrived, they saw the star on top of a pedestal. This star shone in several different colors, something that made the star even more desirable. Frieza spoke. "So this is the star I was looking for so much, and now it is within my reach. With this star, I will be able to become even stronger, and with that, I will be a god of destruction. And in the future, I will be a ruler of the entire universe, and who knows, of all of them together," said the Emperor as he walked towards the star. Upon getting closer to the star, the Emperor picked it up and began to analyze it. So when Frieza was going to make his wish to the star, when at that very moment, the star began to shine brightly, making it hotter than before, something that forced Frieza and his soldiers to move away from the star, which began to float and release an energy of destruction, similar to that of a god of destruction.
The star that was now emitting an energy similar to that of a god of destruction, began to form several bands of energy that began to surround the star. These bands began to form a humanoid body, and it wasn't long before an explosion of energy took place, causing much of the temple to be destroyed, especially the top where the crystal was previously. Thanks to the explosion, a lot of dust ended up rising, covering the view of all the soldiers who had not died from the wreckage of the temple that had fallen, and after a few seconds the dust had lowered and everyone could see that there was a being floating in the place where the crystal was. Previously, that being had a body composed of more yellowish bands having an older tone. He had red eyes, and what most caught Frieza's attention was that he was wearing a god of destruction outfit, only a little different from the others that Frieza had seen, showing that that being was a god of destruction, but not of any of the current 12 universes. The mysterious god of destruction spoke.
"I came back to life. Am I back? I'm finally back," said the god of destruction in a high tone, releasing his energy of destruction, making all Frieza's soldiers shiver with pure fear.
We reached the end of another video today, so for those who like the content of this channel already, leave the like and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to leave your comment, which is very important for the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.